Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go over how we did on our paycheck to paycheck budget for July 13th through July 26th. This is my first time back, or I guess the actual budget was my first time budgeting in a couple of months. I kind of got a little complacent and didn't budget, and that did not go so well for our finances. We didn't go into like debt or anything, but I could tell looking back that I was definitely spending way too much money. I did keep all my receipts for that time period, so I am eventually going to go back and like fill in like backdate budget, because obviously I did nothing, just to see how badly we really did. We didn't really do great on this one either. There were a couple of categories that we went over on, but all together we did okay. But there were definitely some categories that we spent more than we should have. So let's go ahead and start filling some of this in. So our actual pay was much higher than the $1,500 that we budgeted for my husband's income, and then I had a paycheck, which we don't ever budget into our budget. So let me go ahead and add those up. So he got $2,069.89, and then I had $221.64. So that gave us $2,291.53. $2,291.53. So I'm going to subtract out that $1,500 that we budgeted just to see how much extra we have, which was $791.53. As far as fixed bills, they were the exact same amount. So $906 for Hulu. The internet I paid $50. This $220 is my car insurance sinking fund. I do that as if it's a fixed bill, so that I pay that, and then when we have our 6-month, renewal, it's not so painful. So that was $220. And dental, same thing, $75. So that total is the exact same, $354.06. And obviously those were all paid. Alright, so the variable expenses, that's where it got not so great in some of these categories. Okay, groceries. This would be the one that we did the worst in. We actually were over budget, $39.79. Now, in my defense, some of this was bulk meat that I purchased from the health food-esque store that's near us, Earth Fare. They had a really good deal on their grass-fed ground beef, so I bought a whole bunch of it, and that really should have not come out of my grocery budget. It should have come out of that sinking fund that I started, but I forgot. And there probably wasn't even that as much in there to cover all of it anyway. But that sinking fund that I created, like the Costco one, that will cover, those kind of expenses as well, like the bulk foods that I'm getting a really good deal on. But since I forgot, I went ahead and put it in my grocery budget, so it, did make us go over on that one. So I'm just going to roll with it since that's what I already had. Where did I put my thingy? Oh, here it is. Okay, so $39.79 over. So I'm going to, and so I haven't really had to use my red pen, but I do use my red pen when I do go over in a category, just to kind of draw my attention to it. So we were over $39.79. $39.79, which is not good. Okay. So the next category, we also went over in, which I kind of slightly expected, just because we did go on that weekend, I don't know if you'd call it vacation or whatever. We went for the weekend down to, my in-laws have like a little house near a river, so we went there, and we did have to pick up food on the way there for my husband and the kids. And then there was the day before that we were getting ready and so we didn't have time to cook, or I didn't have time to cook, so we did go over budget, which we rarely do. We rarely actually spend any money out of the restaurant budget, but this time we went over. So we were over $22.73 on that one. So over budget $22.73. Gas, we actually didn't spend as much gas money, or money on gas, that I thought we would. Actually, my husband didn't fill up that in that pay period, so we spent less than I thought we would. I gave myself a little bit extra because we were going to take that trip, and it's a pretty far drive. It's like 2.5 hours or 3-hour drive. So we had, let's see, $78.52 left. I don't need my red pen, I don't think, anymore. So $78.52. 78.52. I don't think we did anything in entertainment, so we still had the entire $5. My husband did a haircut, so we had $3 left there. Pocket money for myself. I have $17.60 left over. Reason that I'm like not even in frame. Sorry guys. Okay, the reason that it didn't really go over budget in that one is I had some returns that I made. I actually went through my little planner supply and craft area, which, like I've said in other videos, I'm not crafty, so I don't know why I buy crafty stuff, but I really like it. But anyhow, I went through all my planner stuff and all my craft stuff that I had not opened and I didn't see myself using in reality, and I put it all in this big bin that I have, like one of those 66 quart size bin. That's how much stuff I have. Put it all in there, and I'm slowly whittling it away with returns. Like, I'm going through my receipts and finding which ones match up and returning them. Like, I even went through like the Happy Planner stickers, and I had a lot. I only have six of these little books that I've decided to keep, or I had to keep because I'd already used a couple of them. And the rest of them are all going back, and there's got to be at least like 12 of those things. And I've told myself I'm not going to buy any of those because I never use them. I think they're pretty and I like the stickers, and then I choose never to use them. I don't decorate my planner. All I do is use like the functional stuff. So there really is no point in me owning those things. So I've decided that I'm not going to let myself buy anymore, and I'm returning any of the stuff that I have. So that was a completely like off-topic, well, kind of off-topic side rant. But yeah, getting rid of all that stuff. So anywho, so I had $17.60, I think I already said that. Yep. And then my husband only bought like 1 cup of coffee with his money. So he has $48.51 left. He's so much better with the discretionary spending than I am. Okay. So, and then miscellaneous, we barely spent anything in miscellaneous, which is good because we needed to kind of cover our, poor spending decisions on those 2 categories. So we have $285.40 left over. $285.40 left over. This little carryover section, that's not really a spending or anything category. That was just what I knew we needed to absolutely carry over to our next paycheck to paycheck budget, so that we could pay the bigger bills that were coming out, since there was only 4 bills that came out this pay period. There was a lot more coming out of the next pay period, so that just carries over. So there's really nothing spent there, and obviously we're going to carry that over, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that out. Alright, so as far as everything else, let's see. I'll go ahead and do the math over here so I can see what we actually spent in each category, since this side basically just shows us what we had left, like these expense trackers. The way that works is like what's left. So I'd like to see what exactly was spent too. So $325. And then I'm gonna add the $39.79. So we spent $364.79 for eating out. 25 plus the $22.73 that were over. So we spent $47.73. Gas, we had $150 budgeted and spent $78.52. So we only spent $71.48 in gas. We spent nothing in that. So we spent $17 for my husband's hair. I had 50 minus 70, $17.60. So I spent $32.40. I mean, I technically spent more than that, but I returned a whole bunch to kind of counteract that before I started spending anything. My husband, what did I say? He only had $1.49 he spent. And then miscellaneous, we budgeted $389 minus the $285.40 we have left. So we spent $15.49 out of miscellaneous. $15.49. All right, carrying over. I don't think I need to carry anything for gas over, although I'm afraid my husband will end up filling up multiple times this pay period since he didn't fill anything up in the last one, but we'll see. I think I will carry over that entertainment budget. Personal care, we don't carry over. Pocket money, I'm definitely carrying over. My husband's pocket money will carry over. And that, I'm gonna subtract out this amount, and that's what I'll carry over, I guess. If that math, I don't know if that math will work or not, but we'll see. 285.40 minus the 39.79 and minus 22.73. All right, so if what I would, kind of theoretically do is take this out of the miscellaneous, so that leaves me with 222.88, and I'll go ahead and put that as carry over for now, at least. I don't know if I'll carry it over now, and then maybe later, after a couple more paychecks, we might just roll that into one of the sinking funds or something like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add up the columns because I'll need that information. This is going to be the same number as here because I didn't have any carryover for my previous budget because I didn't make a previous budget. And that's what I would use that for. So 1,142.94. All right, so, and then I'm going to add up my actual. So 364.79 is what we spent in groceries. 47.73 was what we spent in eating out. 71.48 was gas. 17 was my husband's haircut. 32.40 was pocket money. Or my pocket money. 149 was my husband's pocket money. And 15.49 was the miscellaneous. Alright, so we spent, that doesn't seem right, but I guess it might be. We'll see. Alright, 550.38. Does that seem right? 3. I guess so. Alright, so that's how much we spent. 550.38. This, not including actual bills, but just our discretionary variable expenses. Okay. So now this is the review part. So I'm going to put in the total fixed bills that we budgeted right there, which was the $354.06, and then the total variable expenses was 1,142.94. 1,142.94. So if I did that right, that should equal $1,500 since it's an every dollar budget, and that was what we started with as far as our budgeted income. So 354.06 plus 1142.94. Oh, no, my math is wrong somewhere. All right, 354.06 plus 142.94. Yeah, so I'm $3 somewhere. I messed up. Yeah, I'm not going to go back and fix that, but somewhere in there, there's a $3 screw up. So I will check that like off camera. I'm not going to force you guys to sit through that. So really that should have come out to $1,500, but obviously somewhere I lost $3. Okay, so total fixed bills actual was the same amount as my budgeted, so I'm just gonna copy that over. All right, total variable expenses actual. So my actual was $550.38. So $550.38. So I'll add those together. $354.06 and $550.38. 904 and 44 cents. Okay, so this is total income plus carryover. Okay, so I don't have any carryover. That's what I would put there. That would be what this is for next month or next pay period, that carryover that I have there. Since I didn't budget in the previous month, I don't have an actual carryover. So the numbers are just going to be what's on this paper basically. So the total income budgeted was $1,500, and the budgeted total expenses is kind of that number. It's supposed to be $1,500, but we're going to stick with that one even though that obviously there's $3 missing somewhere. So I'm just going to leave it. So we're $3 off when we're reconciling, but you know, we'll live. Okay, total income, my total actual income was $2,291.53. $2,291.53. That's right? 2,291.53. Okay, and then total expenses is this one right here, the 904.44, since it's our actual. 904.44. And then, so that's 2,291.53 minus 904.44. So we had 1,387.09 left. Alright, actual with carryover. Okay, this column doesn't matter, this pay period, because I didn't budget last pay period or last month, so there was no, additional, because what would go here is, alright, sorry about that, someone came to my door, so I had to answer. Anyhow, so like I was saying, this is going to be the same as this column, just because I didn't budget on the last, paycheck to paycheck, or the last 2 months really. What would go there is this plus the carryover amount that I didn't total here on the previous paycheck to paycheck budget. But since I don't have a previous paycheck to paycheck budget, that is staying the exact same. So there's no point in me really filling that out right now. Again, if you've watched the last actual review that I did, which was in mid-April, the only reason I do this is because I don't use actual cash envelopes. I just have it all in my bank and I keep track of it with my little expense trackers and stuff like that, and I check it on a daily basis and make sure we're not going over. Obviously I didn't do that in May or June because I didn't do any budgeting whatsoever. But this may change for me. I'm not thinking of going to physical cash envelopes, but I have been looking into going into or using electronic cash envelopes, I guess, if you want to call it like that. There's a bank that I've heard of or looked into when doing some Google searches, and they have like a setup to where you can use their, you know, one account but have different like sub accounts kind of, and name them like your cash envelopes. So for each month, but you can't like, you know, withdraw or overdraw in each category and get like a, you know, insufficient funds fees or anything like that. It will, you know, pull from any kind of extra money you have in that account. So I'm going to try that. I already signed up for it, but I don't get the debit card till like mid-August. Once I do get that and try it out, I'm going to let you guys know how I like it, because I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I think it helps in that you somewhat have like real cash envelopes, but without the physically having to carry cash around. And I think that's a deterrent for a lot of people, is carrying, you know, $100 extra in your wallet, or a couple $100 extra, or, you know, having, and even if you keep your cash envelopes at home, it's having to like, you know, say if you're out and you're like, oh, I need to go buy milk, I forgot, but you left your cash envelope for your groceries at home, then you don't technically have it to be able to pull from. And there's a whole bunch of issues that people have with cash envelopes, like the physical cash envelope. So this might actually kind of help with that. So I'm going to try that out. I'll give you a link to that in the description box below. It's called Simple Bank. But I'm not technically endorsing it just yet because I haven't actually tried it. I've signed up for it. I'm going to put a referral code down below, which, by the way, if you do use the referral code and you sign up and go through the process of signing up, the first time you use your debit card, they put $20 in your bank account. So that's pretty awesome too. So I will put that down below because I think I get $20 too. So, you know, shameless plug for that. But like I said, I'm not technically endorsing it just yet because I haven't tried it. So, that's really all I have to say about that right now because I don't know enough about it. But it does seem really interesting, and it does seem like something that would work for people who want to do the cash envelopes but has, you know, that have reservations because of the whole carrying cash or anything like that. So I am pretty excited about that bank, you know, situation. So I'll let you guys know as soon as I do try it out and how it goes. But anyhow, that all being said, that's just what I'm going to leave it at since I don't really need to fill that column in. Keeping in cash envelopes, I've got nothing to carry over in groceries and nothing to carry over in restaurants. And I don't carry anything over in entertainment. Oh, that was gas. Or yes. Or I was carrying over the $5 in entertainment. Personal care, I'm not carrying anything over. My pocket money was $17.60. My husband was $48.51. And then miscellaneous, I'll go ahead and carry over that, what was it, $222.88. $222.88. Alright, so I'm going to add those all up. I'm going to add those all up, and then I'm going to put that right here where it says carry over for cash envelopes. And if you've bought my Paycheck to Paycheck budget review stuff, there's two of them. There's this one that's the more complicated one that, you know, because of the whole non-existent real cash envelopes. But then there's the more basic one that doesn't have all the extra stuff on there. So, you know, use whichever one works for you. But this one works for me just because, again, I don't have actual cash envelopes. So 5, 17, 60, 48, 51, 222.88. And I will say this, if you're just getting into budgeting, if you're in debt and you're still on baby step 1 or 2, and you have problems controlling your spending, I would definitely recommend doing a cash envelope. I used to do cash envelopes, physical cash envelopes, and they worked really well. They curved my spending. There were actually months where if I hadn't had the cash envelope, like for groceries, I'd have like panic attacks almost, that I wouldn't have enough money to feed my family. And it was nice to know that, you know, yeah, my bank account looks like I only have like $10 or whatever in it, but I knew I had, you know, $100 in cash, you know, to provide food for my family. So I would really consider doing that. Consider actually having cash envelopes if you're in those kind of situations, or if you're in a really close, like really do live paycheck to paycheck kind of thing. I think it's super helpful. I think it creates habits that need to be created, and yeah, I just think that's the way to go in those kind of situations. I am lucky enough now to be out of baby step 2. I am in baby step 3. So I have a little bit more of a cushion, and I don't live as tightly paycheck to paycheck wise. So there's a little bit of cushion. If I do go over, it's not the end of the world. I do have a cushion in my bank account, but if you're living really, really tight, I would recommend doing the paycheck or the cash envelopes. But anyhow, that was that. Okay, so total balance I'm going to put is this number here. If I had filled this part out, it would be over here, but I'm going to go ahead and put this one in here because it'll be the same number. 1,387.09, because that's how much I have left after our expenses. So cash envelopes balance, so 1,000, 3,000. So that's staying in the cash envelopes. And then let's see. Oh, you know what? I really should have put that number here because I want to make sure I have that money and it doesn't get separated out. All right. Carry over next pay period. I'll just put that there. Actually, no, I don't have to. I can put it right there. Anyhow, so this is how much money I have left, including what was in like the cash envelopes or whatever. And then this is what I'm keeping in the cash envelope. So this is what I'll have available for savings. I don't have any actual debt right now, so it'll be savings in like sinking funds and things like that. But if you do have debt, that will be, you know, the money you can pull from. So 1,000, am I in frame? Nope. 1,387.09 minus the $293.99 I'm keeping in cash envelopes. All right, so $1,093.10 is how much I have to go towards sinking funds and things like that, except that I need to put that carryover amount for next pay period, which was $220.05. So I have $220.05. So 1,093.10 minus 220.05. So that leaves me with 873.05. I have nothing to put towards a debt snowball, luckily. So then I have my sinking funds and emergency fund, and I will calculate how I want to split that up later and hopefully do a video on my sinking funds and things like that soon. But yeah, that looks like it. Overall, I did okay. There were a couple of categories, obviously, that I didn't do so great in. I'm going to zoom in just so you can see the numbers. I know, if you're watching this on your phone, I'm sure it's hard to see the numbers. Like, on your computer, it's not so bad. But, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on my phone, so I'm sure it's hard to see. So, we had $791.53 more in income than we had budgeted. Our actual and budgeted bills were the exact same, $354.06. Our variable minus the $3 that I don't know where I messed up on, and I'm not going to look for $3 is $1,142.94. I had no carryover from last paycheck to paycheck because I didn't do a last paycheck to paycheck budget. So that's the same number. This is my actual spent in these categories, which was $550.38. And then as far as like what we have left, we have $1,093.10 after paying bills, after all of our expenses, after what's staying in the cash envelopes. So, and then minus that $220.05. So $873.05 I have to play with as far as putting towards my sinking funds and my emergency fund. And that's my current baby step right now, is my emergency fund. And I would love to just throw that all in there, but I know that there's some things coming up. We had medical stuff, like my daughter, she fractured her elbow. My son, I just took him to the doctor yesterday because he was having an earache and he has apparently swimmer's ear, which I didn't know there were like a million home remedies for, so I went ahead and paid like the $80 for the drops that they gave us for that. So unfortunately that was like a $200 bill between the doctor and that, so that'll come out of the medical. My car's doing something funny, so I'm sure I'm gonna have car bills soon that'll come out of the car. So that's why the sinking funds are so important, because it takes the pain out of that. Like, it would have been a lot more stressful taking my son to the doctor on Monday, or my daughter and all the x-rays and everything would have been a lot more stressful if we didn't have a sinking fund. And even though the sinking fund probably didn't cover everything for, and I know it didn't cover everything for my daughter's elbow issue, it did cover some of it, which was a nice break. And another public service announcement, I called my, when we were at the hospital for my daughter, I called their like patient services, department, and talked to them about, if there was discounts for paying cash versus going through the insurance. And she let me know that yes, there was a discount, 50% discount actually, if we paid cash instead of going through our insurance. And she told me to go back to the person that like signed me into the hospital and did all of our paperwork and tell them to take my insurance information off, which I did. And so I got the bill Friday, I think, and I called and they did take a 50% discount. So that was awesome. So if you have that kind of situation where you have to go to the hospital, you're inevitably going to be sitting around waiting for a while, go ahead and call their patient services, their financial department, and see what kind of deals they will give you, because that saved us like $400. So that was, well worth the 10-minute conversation I had with that lady on the phone. They were really helpful, and I was happy to take whatever discount they would give us. So just do that kind of stuff. Like, see what you can do. I mean, we could have paid the whole bill. It would have been a lot more painful, but if I don't have to pay the whole bill and they're willing to give me a discount for paying cash, I am going to do so. And that would be like also the benefit of having that sinking fund, because that sinking fund did cover that entire portion of the issue. It didn't cover the doctor's visit or anything like that, but it did cover the hospital part, and I was able to pay that lump sum, 500, whatever it was. I think it was like 4 something, instead of paying the 800 and something, But anyhow, so sidebar as well. But anyhow, when you're trying to get out of debt, or even when you're not, I'm not technically in debt anymore, but it's, always smart to just see what you can do as far as negotiating prices on things or bills in that kind of situation. But all right, that is enough rambling. I'm sorry. I'm sure this video is so long. So if you do have any questions or comments, feel free to ask them down below, or make a comment down below. And don't forget, we have a Facebook group and page that I'm trying to grow so that we can work with each other and help each other out. I do have links to my printables in the description box and on the Facebook page. I also have the free printable for, I don't think I have it with me, but for the like bill pay checklist thing. I have a free printable on the Facebook group. So I'll put those links down below to the Facebook group and the Facebook page. And yeah, if you ever have any questions or want to talk or anything like that, feel free to, join that group and ask me and the others that are in there. There's not a ton of people because I just started it and then I disappeared for like 2 months. But yeah, I would love to talk with you. I'd love to have a relationship back and forth with you guys. So check it out there. Again, I'm rambling, so sorry this was so long. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.